Hello, welcome back. What if I told you that you could eliminate hours of manual invoice processing every single day, catch pricing discrepancies that could save your business thousands of dollars and do it all while you're sleeping? Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to build an intelligent invoice processing system using N8N that does just that. Let's face it, invoice processing is a nightmare for most businesses. Here's what's typically happened, right? Your team receives vendor invoices through emails, PDF attachments, or physical mail, right? Then someone has to manually open each invoice, read through it line by line, extract product codes, quantities, and prices, then cross-check everything against your own master price database just to check for discrepancies and see if there's any opportunities for cheaper products and stuffs. This process itself is very time consuming and also often very error prone. Now, the real kicker, you're probably missing significant cost savings because of manual review that can't catch every price error or suspicious change. Study shows that businesses typically miss 3 to 5% of pricing discrepancies in manual reviews, which can literally translate to thousands of dollars of unnecessary cost annually. Now, let me break down exactly what this manual process is costing businesses. Your team is spending 15-30 minutes on every single invoice. That's 25-30-50 hours just on 100 invoices. Your valuable staffs are tied up in this repetitive data entry task instead of strategic work. And you're looking at processing delays of at least 24 to 72 hours per invoice. The financial impact, you're paying between 25,000 to 50,000 annually in labor costs alone for this manual work. But here's a kicker, 3 to 5% of pricing discrepancies are going to completely unnoticed, meaning you're missing cost saving worth thousands of dollars per year. Adding in hidden costs from delayed vendor payments, the real financial drain becomes massive. And finally, human errors. Even your best staffs have a 2 to 3% error rate in manual price verifications. You've got inconsistent review processes across team members, fatigue sets in, leading to missing discrepancies. And there's no standardized validation process. What happens? How can we help on this? Our automated system processes invoices in 30 seconds, eliminate human errors, catch every pricing discrepancies, and work 24/7. You get complete audit details, instant alerts, and scalable solutions that grow your business. In this tutorial, we're going to build an N8N workflow that automatically receives vendors' invoices, uses AI to extract all the critical information, cross-reference pricing against your master database, and flags any discrepancies for review. By the end of this video, you'll have a functional system that transforms invoice processing from a manual headache into an automated intelligence process. Let's get to it. Okay, here is a look at the overview of how the N8N workflow is gonna go. You can see here, right? So kind of go through a quick explanation of how this is gonna work. So basically what happens is first file has to be uploaded to a Google Drive. So the expected file format for this is a PDF, PDF version of the invoice, which is usually what the vendor is gonna send. Okay, right? So once it picks up the file, it starts to extract the PDF file into text information from it. And then we'll use AI to kind of extract all the information and do its processing, cleanups and stuffs. Then starts to send for post-processing. Okay, once it's processing, it'll double check and see if there's any issues and errors. So, and then once if there's no errors, so it starts to split out the items from the invoice line by line, and they generate a unique key for each line in the invoice. So, and then starts to send the invoice data over to Google Sheets to be captured in the file. And then what happened is that the workflow will then start to grab information from the master data. So it starts to do validation line by line and then output of the results of the validation. So this workflow actually works on this sheet you can see here. So the first sheet is where the workflow will input the information about the vendor's invoice line by line. As you can see here, these are some of the columns, the important columns that's required usually. So here in this is the next tab, which is the master table tab. Okay, this tab itself, as you can see, is the master data of all the items, okay, that were previously probably purchased for other vendors, the same vendors as well. And then you can see what is the product name, the S number, SKUs and stuff, what is the price that was given, cost of it, who's the supplier, etc. The last sheet itself is the validation sheet, whereby the workflow starts to do its comparison and stuff, and then it will output it here. Okay, so we're gonna run this just to give you guys an idea of how it's gonna work. So first, we have created a Google Drive. So we're gonna start processing by this sample first PDF. Okay, this is the vendor invoice example PDF, vendor's invoice preview. Okay, you can see this is an example one. So the invoice number, so bill to invoice information here, and all these the items in the invoice, pricing stuff. So you can see here, that's a sample vendor invoice. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm gonna hit run, execute the workflow. Starts to look for the file itself, starting to download it. Extract the details from the invoice PDF, process the output. Okay, what happened? Let's see. Double checked. Okay, match class. Okay, probably let's do a quick refresh. Right, I found a problem to the error is basically I changed the column naming, so I gotta refresh it. So it looks good now. So I think let's go ahead and test to rerun this again. Sorry about it. So we go and have a look at the sheet itself. You can see here, it's pretty much populated with all the lines in the invoice. Here, serves master. So this is master. Basically, at the end, validation it checks. Okay, so it's C. Cool. Found matches found. Cost same. Let's see how it goes. All right. Well, let's get started with kind of building this whole workflow back again. Okay, we'll start fresh. There's a whole new workflow. So first is we're gonna add this a trigger manually. It's just simple. So you want to put it data on whether you want to have scheduler to run an hour on a minute basis, hours basis is fine. So next we're gonna do Google Drive. Right. So we're gonna use the download file. So you need to download the file itself. So for this example, we're gonna make it easy. So the file is the name of the PDF or the invoice that you're going to process. So this one's B2B invoice one. So look at the B2B invoice one. So this is going to directly get the file itself. Probably let's do a little bit different. So I'm going to do a look for new drives. Look for new files in Drive and download it. Let's do this and see. Cool. We'll do this. We'll search the latest files in the drive. So we get the Google Drive, advanced search, change to advanced search, limit to return all. So we need to filter it by folder. So we need to put folder name. My folder name is, let me double check. So it's called invoice processing validation. Okay, invoice processing input slash input. Probably I'll just try input. See how many pops up. Luckily, it's just one, so I'm going to check in this input folder. So the options, we need to return fields. Yeah, change this is get all from Google folder. Okay, cool. Let's delete these. What happens is it will get all the files from the Google Drive. Now, first I need to sort it out. You sort the files as returned. Simple sort by. Let's see what we have. Let's run this first. This cool. Let's see what files we have. We have all the file names here. Okay, all the information. I need to get the file current links. All this 3 items. Okay, sorry. So it returns 3 items, 3 files itself. 3 files. So I need to get last permissions. Nope. Space capabilities permissions length should give me. So create probably let's sort by created time, and it's either descending or ascending. So descending means should be the latest file. So let's see which is the latest file. So 16 June, all by 3. So pretty much sorts which file is this. Stable. Download restrictions times. Okay, created time is 749 670. So this is the oldest file. Oldest file is latest file. So it's pretty much sorted if the newest file that's added. So yep, it goes. So you will check for the latest files goes. Right, so next, what you're gonna do, once we get that, sort it out, process it one by one then. So let's see, I'm gonna limit this first so that it runs one file. So just to double check the flow stuff. So now next, we are gonna download the file. So once you get the list right, okay, Google Drive, download file, hold on, go by ID, what we have the going to give the ID of Google Drive ID, okay, get file, well, oh, and we get the file, it's in PDF. So now we need to convert that file from PDF to data. So we have this node from extract from file. So we need to extract from PDF, right? So in the body field, it's data. Data, it's pretty much automatic. So extract it out. As you can see, it's pretty much extracted the data text. Office furniture world. This one, I think. This is the last one. Should be the one. The price mismatch. See here. Okay. Humanity solution. This one. Yeah, so Office solution. Future world. You can see. This one is getting it. Let's process it then. Cool. So we have this. Now next is we're gonna send this data to the AI. Get AI agent. should define below later on. If you add the LLM model, I always like to use OpenRouter, so I'm going to use, let's try use for mini, for mini, since we just extracting and processing. So now in the prompt itself, now I've copied the prompt. So yeah, they need to give a master prompt itself. I've copy paste the one previously. We'll go through a little bit. So you can see here. So what the prompt says, you are a document parsing assistant. Pretty much extract the structured data, to extract the structured data from the invoice PDF, automate the upload, validate for the system, financial system. Okay, the extract from the extract all this information here. Okay, in certain format as well, all written here. Okay, double check all the lines, extract omissions. Don't skip any line. So just ensure that I'm speaking correctly. So this is the system prompt. Then we add the user prompt. Here it's the user prompt. We'll check. So here, give it a couple of instructions. Must respond only with a valid JSON. Do not input the word, because sometimes LLM, certain LLMs kind of export that word JSON or this weird JSON, so that it causes issues when we're trying to process it. In the next following node, we have to kind of have additional validation to clean up. That's all we don't want that. So we add this in early on. Finally, do not wrap the response in any output, like any key like output. Say you just want it to be in pure format. Okay, and this is where you copy the JSON text to convert. You can see an example here. This is where the output is going to be. Okay, now next we're going to run this and process it and see how that goes. Cool. So what we have, so it's pretty much a valid JSON, you can see, right? Next, all right, next we're gonna do codes to clean up a little bit much more further. Okay, codes, and I'm gonna copy codes here. Okay, so a little bit change, we need to change run once for all, they compress it. So though this is just an additional flow to just clean up just in case the output that's generated is not in the correct JSON. Sometimes it happens. This is just kind of double check validation step. So clean. So now it's in a much cleaner JSON format. Okay. So next, right, next we add this if statement here. So just to double check that if there's any errors that's been thrown. Again, it's just a triple check. It's a triple check of the provided JSON by AI agent. So again, that's not everything. So it's good, fine. If not, we can do a. If not, we kind of force it to go back to the AI agent to kind of output it correctly again. But I'm going to do that this time. So again, we'll just focus on the completed validation. Say no issues. So because the JSON that is created, that's extracted, sorry. So it contains of information about the header information and also the line. Now, at this point, we want to focus on the line itself to do validation. So we need to split that out. So we need to split the line items out. So split it out and then process it one by one. Splitting out. So what I had to do, we also have to create a unique key. So we need to use, how do you want to do that? We're going to use the edit fields, new fields called unique key. And I want to use this function. So what I want to do is I want to get the invoice number dash and then also the index of the items index. Just create a unique key so that every time this process happens, it kind of creates a unique key and adds it into the go sheet. This is better for better tracking itself and identifying. Okay, and run it. see it creates unique keys, okay, for the invoice itself and the items. Okay, now once we have that, we're going to start to first insert the data into the sheet. So we're going to use the Google Sheet note, and we're going to use the pen roll in the sheet. Pen roll. So what is documents we have? It's called, for my is the automated invoice. So I want to use that the automated invoice. So what sheet? So I'm going to add it on the sheet per sheet. Okay, so all this here. So what you do is going to add one by one. So serial number, let's see, with serial number for the item, which item? One. Or actually I should adding this without then the invoice number. This is something I can get from if invoice number is this key itself. Okay, invoice date. Let's say invoice date. Okay, invoice date. PO number. PO date. ATW description should come from without any based on any, so skip session. Nope. Quantity. Yep, I have quantity. Read vendor. Read vendor. That's pretty much the unit price provided by vendor. The sales amount, total sales amount, the line totals. Double check if there's any GST. So I think I'm gonna remove as in decimal. So I think that's pretty much it. What we need is process it, insert it into Google Sheets, and we see double checked and see if there's there. Oops, my right. So cool. You can see these added. Now I'm missing the TW. Okay, let's go back. Let's see what's happening there. TW dish. Oops. Sorry, probably use. So this is the one. Sorry. Let's see. What am I missing? Okay, TW description. Yes, add that's back. So we'll check what's. So I'm using TWW. It's a formula. So let's check out what's this formula about. So yeah, this formula is pretty much adding the code, the description, and then the last character as ATWN description. Okay, let's try and run this again. So it's gonna create a new lines. Oh, now next is once you have that, proper rename is insert into. Okay, now next is start to do the checking and the validation from the master data itself. So what we're gonna do first, we're gonna get data from Google Sheets, right? Google Sheet, get rows and sheet and document list. Which particular one we're gonna do is master data. So that's pretty much it. So you're gonna get master. Yeah. Oh, what happened? Yeah. Master data. Rename. Okay. Okay, we're gonna get everything. So all whatever it's 25 items. Yeah. Oh, why it's 25 items? Should be only 5 items. So what's wrong? What's wrong here? Why is it getting like 3 times? I understand. So because it's for every 5 items, let's go through the loop. Options. I figured it out. So what happens is settings. So you should run execute once. that's pretty much it. We get 5 items out of it. So now it's the important part. So I'll do a code and start to do the comparisons. So this is the code. Copy paste. We'll talk a little bit about how this works. Okay, let's see. So now we're going to do a couple of things. So what is we are going to compare, mainly comparing the SKUs. Okay, this SKU code, which is unique code that usually um, people kind of usually businesses kind of use this as the identifier of all the items, right? It's very important. So what happens is that the codes itself, sorry. So the code itself is going to compare the SKUs and then compare the unit price for that based on whatever supplier is giving. So, right, you can see here in the sheet itself, we had the cost, the rates that provided by other suppliers. And then we'll compare that what we have from other suppliers when they send vendors and send in price and output if there's any difference, and also calculate what is the difference are. So this is the code, copy itself, copy here. So to do quick validation and see how it works. Oops, errors out. Let's see what's the problem. Okay, I know. What's the reference? Let's see, split out, generate. Let's see, split out. Okay, I know. Generate UNI keys. Yep, this is one I didn't rename. So let's try again. Oops, still errors. What gives? Reference note. What else did not did changed? JSON unique key. Oh, fetch master data. Okay, sorry. Mine is get. So let's try again. Cool. Yep. Now you have an example. So there's no match. So this is an interesting one. So for the example itself, why it's no match, it is, you can see the SKU itself. Sorry, it's not here. So this is NI. So whatever I have this is IT, the item. So this invoice itself is more on office chairs and stuff. That's why it's not matching. That makes sense, right? So once you have that, so you can see no match. And the last thing is insert it back into Google Sheets. So we're gonna do Sheets and then append rows. This time, same thing. This time the sheet is gonna be the validation sheet refreshed. Cool. These are all the items that we need to match. Anyway, okay. Matched cost actual price. Matched. So let's go about validation. Guess I'm gonna rename this as well. Rename validation. Okay, you have that price difference. Price difference is gonna be a little bit different. So pricing is gonna be a little bit formula. So basically the unit price minus the cost from sheet. So don't have a cost from sheet this one because there's nothing to compare, right? So not available, right? Then total loss as well. This is a formula as well. Does the unit price minus price times how many quantity you're gonna buying. So is there any difference pricing? So we will calculate how much, what's the total loss or total savings that we have. Sort of message, right? So that's pretty much it. We'll execute. Right, cool. Check back on this and you see, yep, it's almost there. So it's not coming up. Let me double check and see what's the problem. Why oh, sorry. So yeah, Another thing I just realized is why it's not running. The unique key is the naming convention. So it's very important, uppercase, lowercase, and stuffs. Oh, so let's try it again. Probably let's do this. I'm just gonna clean up and let's try everything from the top. Let's run. So is that spreading files, processing. Go right. Let's see what's the results. Right. Copied. Correct. Validation. Right. All right. So now we have the unique keys. Right. And there. So pricing. Okay, Ross. That's pretty much. There you go. So let's try with the. Or I'll actually try one with the same file that we get by ID. Let's do this. Should be. Let's get this ID. What's this guy's name? Open with preview. Which doesn't have the ID? Can't be. So let's open this file information details. See if I can get an ID. No IDs? Copy link. Oops. Shouldn't be copy linked. There. Let's see. What gives us yeah, let's see. Linked. Okay, so this should be the ID. Let's copy this. Paste it here. Cool. It's gonna force it to. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna bypass this. Okay, let's bypass this. Maybe run. Get the file. Process it. Right. So it's completed. Let's see what's happened. So yep, you can see it's gonna reprocess again. File. Let's see what happens. So you can see. Yep, processed correctly. Right. So that's pretty much it. Keep watching. If you have any questions and stuff, please leave within a comment. It will really help me as well a lot if you can like, share my video. Thank you.